come with me, and you'll be in a world of actions, objects, and contexts. Someone I know learned the hard way never to start a talk with singing, but we're breaking boundaries, right? And that's all right. Aaron said he was going to come and dance while I was singing, but he he forgot. So what we're going to have to do when we're coming up with our job statements is not use our imagination so much, even though it's fun and like it's a fanciful thing to be able to do, to get in a room and come up with personas and make a bunch of assumptions. It's really not the right thing to do, because we want to base our job statements on things that are like real, from talking to people. It's the results of research, the results of interviews, and things like that. So what we're going to do during this talk is talk a little bit about what goes into a job statement. What are all the parts and pieces of it? We're going to talk about the action. So an action can be like literally any action. There's not really rules about this as long as it's related to the job at hand. It could be taking my beer and putting it in a cooler because I want a beer, or get my hair cut by the barber on a Sunday or whatever. Like it's as simple as just figuring out what the action is that someone wants to perform. The object is the same deal. It's a noun, something that you are performing the action on, putting something into something. Typically in software design, we have data that's being input somewhere. Somebody is ultimately trying to accomplish a goal. So the statement should identify the end result of what that person wants to achieve. Now the context is what we're going to be spending the most time on, because the action, the object, we can look at as something that's maybe interchangeable between job statements. So we could have a list of actions, we could have a list of objects that all go into our design, but the context is something that might touch multiple actions, multiple objects, and we're going to see how we can really dig into that context to really find good design solutions. So here's an example of a job statement for an ATM machine, maybe, or for the bank PIN number or something like this. I type my PIN number into my phone to gain access to my account information. So we have typing, that's the action. The PIN number is the object, and the context is the situation in which the action is being performed on the object, right? Now this context with a PIN number changes depending on the context, depending on the situation. So here's another example. For instance, I'm typing my PIN number into a POS terminal to make a sale. One of my favorite things to buy is malt liquor, as we all know. Just PIN number, got my malt liquor, I'm out the door. Great, I'm all set for the evening. Of course, we have this other context into an ATM in public privately. No one else can see what I'm entering. So that gives us a little bit more clarity as to what this person's trying to achieve. They're trying to safely enter in their PIN number so that they can get some money out. And so from a job statement like this, we might end up with a design like this. So for a while, there's just a flat PIN number. Like I don't know if you've ever been down in New York City. Sometimes you'll go by like a skinny little convenience store, just a tiny little store. On the walls, this ATM, and it's just like screen, like, you're expected to just walk right up and just like do your business there with everybody walking by, no matter how dark it is. It doesn't exactly evoke a feeling of security when you're punching in your PIN number. So now you have some solutions to this problem. This keypad guard that helps you obscure your PIN number a little bit. So it's a good design. It gives you a little bit more security to an otherwise insecure situation. But is there a better solution to this kind of a design? Maybe there is. So how can we identify that? Well, when we're developing our context, we want to find what all of the bad feelings are. And we do that by talking to people. And along with good feelings that they have about something that works, there's invariably going to be frustrations or insecurities. It's all about finding the emotions. Now, in the context of jobs to be done, one of their biggest proponents is a guy named Alan Clement. What he says here is that we can express emotions in a job statement as forces, because they're what's compelling people into a situation or out of a situation. So negative forces or negative emotions are pulling people out of the PIN number in the ATM booth at 3 a.m. Positive forces are things like PayPal. Like if you don't want to get cash out or you're out to eat, or you just, you shoot some money via Cash App to your buddy. So you don't have to go to the scary ATM with like flashing bulb, like nightmare horror movie scenario where you're 90% sure that you're going to get mugged, and they're going to, not only are they going to get the cash, but they're also going to get your PIN number because they were watching the whole time anyway. So from this lesson, if we're adding forces into our current design scenario, into our current job, which is getting money out of the ATM, we might come up with something like this. I type my PIN number at an ATM in public at 3 a.m. No one else can see what I'm entering because I'm worried about getting ripped off. So what's a better design solution than just these plastic fins on either side of the keypad? Well, I'm not saying this is the right one, but imagine if you have like a murderous robot watching your back, brandishing his knife. But again, maybe not the right scenario. Maybe there's a little bit of a better solution to that problem. I never said it was the right one. And so it all really boils down to this. Like, we need to address our emotional forces. But we should try to do it in the right way, right? We can probably find a better balance between keypad, guards, and murderous robot. There probably is one. So if we can really develop those emotional forces, if we add them into our job statements, that will ultimately create a better product. So how can we do that? So maybe at some point over the next few minutes, maybe we can take a look at our app in progress here and try to pull out some of those forces and try to create some real job statements that can be used in our app.